So, what does it really mean to be mentally strong? Is it some kind of superpower you're born with, or is it something you can actually build? Well, here's the thing. Just like hitting the gym builds muscle, mental strength is a skill you can train. We're going to break down 5 key habits that can take anyone from feeling fragile to feeling truly unshakable.
Okay, I want you to picture this. It's 1914. You're Thomas Edison, and your factory, your entire life's work, has just gone up in flames. We're talking a loss of $23 million, which was an insane amount of money back then. And on top of that, a one-of-a-kind prototype. Gone. So what do? Most of us would just, collapse. But Edison, he saw things differently.
His reaction is pretty much the definition of mental toughness. See, it's not about avoiding disaster. It's about your ability to stand there, surrounded by ashes, and see a blank canvas. It's about finding that proactive, positive path forward, even when things are at their absolute worst. That's the kind of power we're talking about today.
All right, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off by really digging into what mental strength is. Then we're going to walk through 5 powerful habits, think of them as trials, that really build that inner resilience. We'll cover embracing change, setting your boundaries, the power of sacrifice, how to accept failure, and maybe the most important one, loving yourself first.
That story about the fire teaches us something so crucial. Mental strength has nothing to do with having a perfect, easy life. Nope. It's all about how you respond when everything goes completely sideways. Edison didn't see an ending. He saw a chance to start over, fresh. And that mindset, that's everything.
So our first habit is a big one. It's all about embracing change. And honestly, there's no better way to understand this than by looking at the incredible story of the eagle. To keep living, it has to go through something that is quite literally a painful rebirth.
An eagle can live for about 70 years, which is amazing, but right around age 40, it hits this major crisis. Its talons get weak and can't grip anymore. Its beak gets long and curved, making it hard to eat, and its feathers become so heavy and thick that it can barely even fly. So it's got a choice: give up and die, or go through this incredibly difficult process of change.
And look at what this takes. It's a 150-day process. First, the eagle has to fly to a mountaintop and literally smash its own beak against a rock until it breaks off. Then it waits for weeks for a new one to grow in. With that new beak, it has to pull out its old, useless talons. Then it waits for new talons. And finally, it plucks out all its heavy old feathers. It's this grueling total rebuild, but it's what earns it another 30 years of flying high.
And this quote just nails the whole point, right? Mentally strong people don't run and hide when the storms of life hit. They see that change, even painful change, is necessary, and they use it to rise higher. They don't just sit through the rain. They find a way to fly above the clouds. Okay, on to our second habit. This one's all about protecting your most precious resources, your time and your energy. I like to call this the trial of sovereignty, because it's about learning to draw your own line of control. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. Think about the last time you said yes to something you really didn't want to do, and poof, your whole day was just shot. That's what most of us do. But a mentally strong person gets that their energy isn't infinite. They know what's important, and crucially, they know when to say no. And it's not about being selfish. It's about being smart. It's about protecting your own goals and your own sanity.
And that leads us perfectly into our third habit, understanding the power of sacrifice. It all follows this really simple but powerful chain. Sacrifice leads to discipline. Discipline builds willpower, and willpower, well, that forges your purpose. You just can't get to greatness without it.
I mean, just look at the cricket legend Virat Kohli. The guy used to be a huge foodie, loved his butter chicken, his mutton rolls, all that stuff. But to become one of the fittest athletes on the planet, he made a huge sacrifice. His diet now? Boiled vegetables, no sugar, not even in his coffee. He traded that immediate, short-term pleasure for long-term, world-class excellence.
Mentally strong people get that trade-off.
All right, time for habit number 4. And for this one, we're going to flip the script a little bit. You'd think that mentally tough people are just these super optimists who only plan for success, right? That failure isn't even in their vocabulary. Well, the truth is actually the complete opposite.
So let me ask you this. When a guy like Elon Musk is planning something as huge and risky as SpaceX, how many back-to-back failures do you think he plans to survive? 1? Maybe 2? The answer is at least 3.
And there it is. That's the real secret. True mental strength isn't just about being ready to win. It's about being so prepared for failure that it can't take you out of the game. It's about having the plan, the resources, and the mindset to get knocked down, learn from it, and get right back up. Not just once, but over and over again.
And that brings us to our 5th and final habit. And honestly, this might be the most important one of all. It's the foundation for everything else we've talked about. It's the trial of the self, the practice of self-love.
There's this story about a director at a super high-pressure company. The guy looked way younger than he was always full of energy, even though his schedule was just insane. Someone asked him for his secret, and he said his day never starts with work, ever. It starts with him. Before he dives into anyone else's problems, he carves out that time just for his own physical and mental health. A workout, meditation, whatever it is.
And that's really the heart of it. You can't pour from an empty cup. Prioritizing yourself, practicing that self-love, it's not some fluffy luxury. It's an absolute necessity. It's what fills you up so you have the strength and the self-esteem to face all the other trials life throws at you.
So there you have it, the 5 trials on the path to real inner strength. It's about embracing change like the eagle, setting those firm boundaries, making smart sacrifices, being ready for failure, and always, always loving yourself first. The path is pretty clear. So the only real question left is, what challenge are you going to take on next?